Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the program today, the latest from Washington, D.C. and big projects in the Truckee Meadows. We'll tell you all about it. Randi Thompson has the rundown.
Well, we have Cobb, the assistant to the Deputy Secretary under the Reagan administration for the Defense Department, not the baseball player, and Bill Thomas from Summit Engineering, the guys that are building a lot of big buildings around town.
And coming up on the Power Pundit Panel today, Anjeanette, Damon, Daryl, Capurro, and Howard Rosenberg. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
Corporations moving to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center require reliable power, fiber optic communication, and clean water sources. And yet, there's another amenity we're very proud of here at TRI, rail service. So far, we've built over 2 miles of railroad track, and another 3.6 is under construction. When companies need to transport freight, we're going to help them move it quickly and efficiently. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seemed to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you. This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on the program, we welcome to the program Cobb. It's a pleasure to have you back here, Cobb Jr.
Cobb Jr., yeah, not Dad. I was thinking we had Dad on. Yeah.
I'm actually the third now.
Actually, yes, that's right.
My grandfather was at the RGJ for 60 years.
Yes, and he was the first person to ever write about me in a newspaper, and I felt very proud.
Was it glowing?
He referred to me as glib. And I had to go to the dictionary and look that up to make sure it wasn't an insult.
Haven't changed.
Cobb Jr. is assistant to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, and he handles issues like the Joint Improvised Explosive Device Defeat Task Force, the Joint Rapid Acquisition Cell, the Base Closure and Base Realignment and Closure Commission, and other national security issues in the Office of the Deputy Secretary. Okay, in the face of Hurricane Katrina, how do you feel about our national security? It's a question a lot of people are asking. If we were so unprepared in New Orleans for something that we knew was coming, what's the situation like for something like a terrorist act that we wouldn't be prepared for?
Well, I think ironically, and I don't handle national security issues for Homeland Defense. I'm more of the proactive out in, the national battles and defeating these IEDs that are hurting our troops. But I think what we found is that we were too prepared for the terrorism inevitability as we assumed it was going to occur, and not prepared enough for the natural disasters. I think the number one thing that we noticed that came out of this was that the emergency responders were the ones who were originally defeated by this natural disaster, and so they couldn't be there on the ground as the local first response. And of course, the locality is the first to be on the ground to take control and to respond. So I think that's the number one issue that we recognize right away.
Did you see sort of a miscommunication between the federal government and the state and local governments on how they should respond to this disaster?
Oh, certainly, yeah. And a lot of that has to do with constitutional powers and can I, may I, and I think that's going to be handled here, especially with the National Homeland Security Strategy. The military revised our national military strategy in terms of Homeland Security in August. Probably going to go back and revise it a little bit more, again, just to make sure that everyone understands where the lines of delineation occur. But DOD was always ready to help. Now, the only problem is you can't just take active duty troops and, you know, have the first amphibious assaults of the United States Marine Corps since Anjeanette. You know, you have to be invited in. That was the only problem.
And the sad part is that the local government couldn't communicate with each other. The cell phones were down, the regular phones were down, they had no backup systems, and yet the military has all the command and control features and could have rapidly taken control.
Probably.
But that will be, you know, again, like everybody else, I don't want to be in the blame game, but the bottom line is that we'll find out more as time goes on. Were you surprised that Hawthorne and Reno were able to dodge the BRAC bullet?
I was a little bit surprised by that. This commission really went off on its own path. We have the numbers and we broke it down, how much they followed the recommendations of the Department of Defense and how much they went off on their own path. And I think it was roughly about 65% of what we had recommended they instituted and accepted, or actually went further in cutting and realigning in some places. Hawthorne and the Air National Guard, I think, were saved because of local needs in terms of firefighting, and also because of the kind of unique ability that Hawthorne has in terms of its being a depot for munitions.
Why do you think so many mistakes were made in figuring out what exactly Hawthorne was, what exactly its mission was? It seems like the Department of Defense just got that flat wrong.
Well, we could sit here and debate that because...
Well, I mean, it went from being on the list to being off the list. So obviously, when the commission members, including the chairman, came out here and actually took a look at it, I mean, I received emails within 24 hours of them being announced that they were on there, and it was just a huge list of mistakes that were in the original wording.
What they consider to be mistakes are actually what we consider to be the certified facts on the ground. When they came out and they had individuals say, well, no, take a look, we have this, and it's actually this, those were uncertified facts, and technically were not supposed to be used if, in fact, they were used by the BRAC commissioners.
I have no idea. I know what you said made sense, but I have no idea what you just said. I mean, if you're saying that you have certified facts, but when you come out there and find out that they're wrong, but you're not supposed to accept those because they're uncertified facts, then what's the certification process, and how do we get factual?
It's very specific. It takes 2 years, and you do what are called COBRA runs, and you determine, based on all the facts available to you as a service and as the DOD, exactly what the effect would be if you were to close down that base or realign it and shift some of its resources. And it's very intricate because, I mean, think about it. You take one piece from Hawthorne, you put it over here, and then you go to Arkansas with the Air National Guard. That is so intricate that a process really does take 2 years to map it all out. Okay, so to come in and take one little piece and say, well, actually our numbers say this, and it's uncertified, that's not fair to the whole COBRA process.
First of all, let me say that I'm not picking on you. Obviously, you did not do this work. You were in Iraq serving our country very bravely.
Appreciate it.
But I'm just saying to you that what you're describing, I mean, the certified facts were wrong. That's why Hawthorne got taken off of the list. I mean, that was the bottom line. I mean, they took 2 years and they got it wrong.
Is what the commission claimed. DOD would claim that we had it right and your numbers were wrong, and that these people came up and made some somewhat disingenuous arguments.
You know, people are sitting at home, right? You know, people they made disingenuous arguments.
Is what DOD would say.
And,
yes.
and you know what? People at home are going, man, this is why things are messed up. This is why we don't believe in government. Yeah, this is like the whole Katrina thing. I mean, it's just a mess.
But DOD doesn't look at necessarily the financial impacts to a community, do they? I mean, those human interest stuff that we care about, the people live there. So, I mean, you have to look at, they're looking at it as bottom line, what's the best for our military.
Right.
They don't care about the impacts of the community.
Right.
So.
You got to remember, now, in a bureaucracy, you don't care about being responsive to constituencies. That's what the politicians do. We sit there and we say, what is best for our country? What is best for our national military posture? So, for instance, when you keep Ellsworth Air Force Base open in South Dakota, When we have B-1 bombers there and B-1 bombers in Texas, we have no reason to have two bases. The only reason they kept it open is because 10,000 constituents showed up at that meeting. And the BRAC commissioner said, well, it would hurt the community too much. That has nothing to do with our national military strategy.
I don't disagree with you, but on the other issue, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. Okay. We have about 20 seconds for you to tell us about E-Ring, which is going to highlight some of the things that you do in Washington, right?
Well, the show E-Ring, obviously, I've only seen a preview for it last night when I was watching West Wing. But, you know, they're running through the corridors, and they've got these huge interactive maps. Not necessarily like that. And I know I'm kind of handsome, but I'm not necessarily Benjamin Bratt. So we're doing some things like that, but it's not going to be as flashy, and we're not going to solve the world's problems in an hour. So.
And are they filming on location at the Pentagon?
I don't believe so, no.
I wouldn't think so.
We will welcome you back whenever you're in town. We always appreciate having you here, and sorry about the disagreement. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
For a videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program, call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
For more than a decade, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has been helping the community embrace conservation as a way of life. That includes replacing more than 50 million square feet of grass with water-smart landscaping. During the worst drought on record, watering restrictions and tough landscaping codes have reduced the community's water use by billions of gallons, even as thousands of new residents were moving into Nevada. That's smart water management, and that's our promise to Nevada.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open.
For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof. Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%, lobby for your interests, and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's premier Statehouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
We're familiar with a lot of the giant projects down in southern Nevada that have changed the landscape and the community over the past few years. There are big projects happening in northern Nevada now as well. And we welcome to the program Bill Thomas, who's the Vice President of Summit Engineering. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sam. The man responsible for all these big projects. No, just kidding.
Or at least getting them built.
I'll take some credit, but not all of it.
Okay.
Let's start out with Cabela's. Now, Cabela's is a giant sporting goods store, huge in the Midwest. Closest place to us is Salt Lake City. They plan to open on the Boomtown property just to the west of Reno. This is going to be a huge development, right?
Yeah, they are a very big tourist attraction, and that's one of the reasons why Pinnacle Corporation and Boomtown were so excited to get them located at that site, because, and I think the city of Reno is excited too, they're a very major attraction. They bring up to, I think, 3 to 4 million visitors a year. Most of those people coming from out of the area. So while they're the world-renowned sporting goods store, they also are a tourist attraction, and their facilities are simply amazing in terms of what they put in them. It's not just a regular store. They have displays that are unique and one of a kind that I think bring people to the facility, as well as just the retail merchandise and wholesale merchandise.
For those folks watching in southern Nevada, the Bass Pro Fishing Shop down in southern Nevada at Silverton has done wonderful things for the Silverton property down there. Do you really believe that 3 to 4 million people are going to come for this Cabela's?
Well, one of the things that's unique about this location is it's right at the California border. There are no facilities in California, Oregon, or Washington, so strategically it's an ideal location to get that large market that's right next door to us and within driving distance. So I think, Cabela's believes, and I think so do we, that it'll be a major tourist attraction. Whether or not it pans out to be 3 to 4 million, I guess time will tell, but it's a very significant development, I think, for not only Boomtown and that part of the city of Reno, but also the city as a whole.
Have you ever been to one?
I have not.
I went to the one in
I've heard
Nebraska.
it's-
I mean, I remember when I drove back from D.C., I took a side road to go to this one because it is fascinating. It is.
I just got a thing to cook beer butt chicken from them, but that was by mail order. But here's my question to you, Bill. Cause and effect. Okay, this thing is built. It's going to bring 3 to 4 million people in, and I understand that those are solid numbers. The visitor base for Reno right now is around 5 million people a year. You're almost doubling that visitor base. What does that do in terms to the community? Do we see more hotels being built to accommodate this? How does that work?
Well, I think over time, certainly, if it builds and more activities come, more tourist types activities like this, they're unique and different. Historically, it's been gaming as the attraction, and now this is something new and different. I think that will happen. You'll start to see more hotel rooms being built, but at least for the time being, it really fills, I think, some of the rooms that are vacated by the Indian gaming. And so the time is ideal in terms of bringing an attraction like this where we're really hard-pressed to keep up with the competition.
So your experience prior to coming to the Summit Engineering, you were at the city of Reno. Are you getting pressure from folks to see that whole area incorporated into the city? Have they done that already with the Cabela's property?
Actually, yeah, that particular development, the Cabela's site, is part of a master plan development that was annexed to the city of Reno a year or so ago. It's about 3,000 homes and about 300 acres of commercial and business park.
Okay.
Now, we had Tom Schrady on the show just a couple of weeks ago, and he is heading up the Grand Sierra project, which takes the Reno Hilton, which is, I think, either the same size or even larger than the Las Vegas Hilton property, and turning it into the largest water park, indoor water park in the United States, correct? And then a second water park to be built with a 1,400-room tower that would have an even bigger water park. Everybody I've talked to about this says, wow, that this is going to be a huge family draw. Is this the kind of draw that we'll see the Reno Hilton returning to the status that MGM Grand had when it first opened up in North Nevada, which was a worldwide must-see?
I certainly think so. If you look at their grand plan in terms of what they're going to do on the facility, it's not only revitalizing the existing hotel with the first water park, but again, as you said, the second water park adds a second hotel. They also have some additional retail that they're going to add and redo basically that whole lake. As you know, the lake right now has the golf on it, and it's pretty much just a kind of a concrete slab around water. They're going to go in and change that and turn it into a dynamic feature that actually adds to the property. In addition, they're looking at putting some residential condominiums along the river, so you'll have a combination of tourists, commercial, and also people living along the river, which are all things that I think are good for the community and good for that property.
So as a longtime Renoite, you're actually at the forefront of changing how our city looks. Is there any kind of, I don't know, regret that you're seeing our little city change, or do you like being involved in making it maybe a more attractive place? Or for some of us, it's kind of grown a little too big. But I mean, how do you feel about it personally to be involved in some of these big projects, knowing you're changing the look of your city?
You know, it may sound kind of corny, but I think the old saying of biggest little city in the world really is true. The things that happen in Reno are often what's going on in other places in the country, but they're to our scale. If you look at, for example, what's going on downtown, the city, I think, both cities have done a wonderful job of turning around their downtowns.
You mean Reno Sparks?
Exactly. And right now, we have several projects where people are actually turning old properties, hotel properties that are maybe marginal, into residential condominiums that are very high-end, and they're actually selling them. So I think the downtown is turning around, and I know I've personally had a lot of people tell me they're very interested, have lived there all their life, to go back downtown. And it's kind of neat to see. So I think one thing about planning and urban planning is it's about change. A lot of times when you deal with development, people don't want change. But that's really not planning. Planning is about something's going to change. How do you get ahead of it? How do you turn it into something positive? And I think in this case, what we're seeing happen is very positive for the community.
Do you see a similar thing happening in downtown Las Vegas? Because that's the mayor of Las Vegas's dream.
I'm really not that familiar. We do a little bit of work in Las Vegas, not that familiar with what's happening down there. But one thing that I've noticed is that Las Vegas really is an international attraction, and so you have a lot of businesses trying to be successful in Las Vegas, so there's a lot of competition. Reno has kind of always been just a little bit off the map. So it was really this gem that people found to come and invest in. And in fact, what I've been seeing in the last probably year or so is a lot of people coming from out of the area who wouldn't historically invest here. People from Chicago, Minneapolis, or Minnesota, a lot of people out of Southern California that are starting to find out about Reno and starting to have interest in investing in our community, which is a good thing.
Bill Thomas, pleasure to have you here. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
How long does it take to get to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park? Well, it's just 10 minutes east of Reno Sparks on Highway 80, just minutes from the airport. And under construction is an interchange linking I-80 to TRI's 4-lane USA Parkway. And soon, this parkway will connect Interstate 80 to Highway 50. How far is the world's largest industrial center from your home? It's a lot closer than you think. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers. Calm yourselves, people.
Okay.
Man, I'm glad there are commercial breaks here. We're joined on our Power Pundit panel today by Daryl Capurro. He heads up the Nevada Motor Transport Association. Anjeanette Damon, Statehouse reporter for the Reno Gazette-Journal. And Howard Rosenberg, Nevada System of Higher Education. Welcome to all of you. You know, I was beginning to think with all of the activity around Hurricane Katrina that we would miss out on the remembrance of 9/11. But Anjeanette, you wrote a story today in the Reno Gazette-Journal that certainly put that aside.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, there were 1,000 motorcycles that took the streets in Reno and Sparks yesterday. People aren't forgetting. There's so much going on. I mean, 4 years. People might start thinking, especially with Katrina right last week, you would think it would start fading away, but it's not. People remember it vividly and emotionally. It still hits them in their hearts.
Well, I think, if anything, Katrina's almost reminded us of how tragedy hits our country and how we need to pull together. And it was, you know, kind of ironic that it happened this timing, but it's a time to remember we are still a united nation that needs to support each other.
Well, 9/11 was such a unique experience for us because nothing like that had happened since Pearl Harbor. So the fact of the matter is, you know, the statement that you keep reading about we will never forget, I'm convinced we will never forget 9/11, and I think it'll be celebrated every year to honor those people who both died there and did some heroic things to save people, too.
I think some of the most choking moments for me have been reading about New York firefighters returning a fire truck to New Orleans that they sent up there during 9/11. Those are the kind of things that have affected me about this, that you've seen, that they came and gave to us, and now we're going back and giving to them.
Say how it should be. Definitely.
All right, let's change topics here. Go to a Las Vegas Sun article from Christina Littlefield, who says that UNLV remains in the bottom tier of U.S. rankings. Why is that, Howard? Is that true?
No, it's not true. It's not the bottom tier of U.S. rankings. It is the bottom tier of what they put together for a study. UNLV, if you look at it 10 years ago and you look at it now, it has come so far and has become such a major force academically, as well as everything else. It is a joy and a pleasure to watch happen. And I live at UNR, and that is my school. And I am delighted to watch UNLV catching up to us every single day, and probably will even surpass us at one point or another. And then we'll play this kind of a game. It is not the bottom tier in the nation. It's the bottom tier of what they consider to be their study. Big difference.
You want to tear up the article?
Big difference.
Here, we'll just give you the article. You can tear it up.
No, I'm going to get hold of Christina Littlefield. That'll be even more fun.
Now, the Chancellor, one of your favorite people, Howard, the Chancellor made a point when these rankings first came out that this is what we would see exactly as people from the universities rallying and saying, that's not true, we're not in the bottom tier. But to say that sometimes might ignore what some of the reality is, and in order to build up and for UNLV maybe to catch up to UNR or go back and forth, you need to recognize it and work on it.
Recognize what?
Where it's ranked.
I do know where it's ranked. It is ranked at the bottom of their study. Now, you've got certifiable fact, and then you have other issues that are coming
stop. You don't start with that.
There are completely different things here. I don't understand what they're talking about. No, all kidding aside. The Chancellor is entitled to his opinion, and I certainly don't fault him for his opinion. It is important for us to keep building, and to keep building very strongly, and that's what we're doing. But UNLV is one damned fine school. By anyone's standards, anywhere you look in the country, it is offering a top-notch education for the kids in our state and for people who are coming from out of state deliberately to study, because they've got some first-rate programs. UNR is in the same boat. We can't compare with Harvard and Yale. No, okay, fine. Who wants to? We've got Harvard and Yale. I went to one of them.
Daryl, you want to weigh in here?
Well, I'm a little bit prejudicial, I guess, because I'm a graduate of UNR, so I...
Good school, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It's a very good school. In fact, you were there when I was a student.
I know. You didn't need to put that in, Daryl.
Ouch. He actually taught Methuselah, but that's another story. Okay, Anjeanette, Bob Beer's suggestion that we lower the gas tax, it seems to have just sputtered, but did it get him the publicity he wanted for his campaign for governor?
Well, he certainly got the publicity that he wanted. He made headlines in all of the major newspapers in the state.
And appeared on this program. Just want to throw that in.
And on this program.
So you fell for it too.
But you did not see Governor Gwynn or the legislative leaders rallying around that idea, and that probably does have a lot to do with the gubernatorial politics that are occurring in the state right now.
Daryl, how do your members feel?
Well, I think Bob achieved what he wanted to achieve out of it, and that was an awareness that the prices are too high for fuel, and whatever the reasons are, I don't know. Anybody would love to see fuel prices come down. The problem is there is no guarantee if we eliminate the 17.5 cents on gasoline and the 27 cents on diesel that price will actually be, reduction will actually be reflected at the pump. Right. And that's my concern with it. And then, after a 2 or 3 month hiatus from it to put it back on, if the prices haven't gone down, you actually have a tax increase in most people's eyes, and you know, that's not good. So I think the idea of trying to mitigate the prices that we've seen here, and you know, of course, I get upset over the fact that when they give national averages for fuel, we're always about 20 cents to 25 cents higher than that. Yeah. And I don't see the reason for it.
Well, you know, the claim is that the special treatment that they have to do in California to be able to change the fuel. I just want to throw one last quick thing in here, which is Great Britain right now, $7 a gallon. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
South Reno's hotspot for food, fun, and friends is the Tamarack Junction. Play over 480 of the hottest slots and video poker games. Enjoy hot times and sizzling food specials at Sully's Sports Bar, Grill, and Nightclub. Watch your favorite game on one of our jumbo high-definition plasma TVs. Enjoy great food 24 hours a day in the Dining Car Restaurant. Or sample the best hot and cold sandwiches in the Whistle Stop Deli. The Tamarack Junction is your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway. Yeah.
Island Inkjet is now open on South Meadows Parkway. Island Inkjet will refill your inkjet cartridges in just 1 hour. We have the ink to precisely match over 240 cartridges, saving you up to 60% on the cost of buying a new cartridge. Our work is 100% guaranteed, and contrary to what you may have heard, refills do not void any printer warranties. You don't throw out your car when it runs out of gas. Don't throw out your cartridges. Refill them at Island Inkjet on South Meadows Parkway by Smith's.
Watch Nevada Newsmakers at nevadanewsmakers.com. Coming up tomorrow, more on the university system with more of Howard Rosenberg and Jill Derby with an announcement. Join us then.